Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. This is our Path of the Damned Herald run, episode 64. Missed the notification? No big deal. The cat stretch. Oh, look at him. He's got this leg out. Like, he loves to take up all the space. Alright, let's stop playing with the cat and play the game. Okay, so we've got the Jackalow quest. There are ways to do this nice and ways to do this not nice. Yeah, for unrelenting bathing. So let's see how this goes. Actually, I want to do hard save. Save game. Godlike.
Keep moving. This here is for the crew of the Divine Barge. You ain't a part of it, so you ain't getting inside. Hey, you're one of Andra's blessed, just like Captain Tatzadel. He'd probably like you.
Does that mean I can come in?
Sure doesn't. Now get out of here.
Rude. Oh, fuck.
Père Complanca, let us pass. I know you have Jackalow. I have known him since I was a girl in the Republics.
So, why should I care?
He saved my life. He has saved the lives of many of our kind. Whatever you think he has done, you have the wrong idea about him.
Seraphine's eyes close as he nods along. A grimace twists her face. She rubs the fur on her right ear, looks to the door, then you. Too slow attack! Oh, fuck. Jeez. She's telling the truth.
Fine. I probably won't live to regret this.
She turns to the door while sliding a key from a pouch at her waist. With a quick twist, the door is unlocked and opened.
After you.
She motions to the door. This is one of those, like, moral fucking moments in this game. Where it's big oof.
We are honored by your presence, Captain. What brings you to this place?
Nukzenza. An ixamiddle greeting. Gotcha. I'm gonna try to let Pallegina handle this one, I suppose. Look to Pallegina.
You have abducted the Animancer Jackalow, a valued citizen of the Valian Republics.
There's a lot of godlikes in here.
He enjoys the protection of the Duke's bells and bannets, and through them, the Fremas Meskankswalias. As a representative of the Brotherhood, I am here to negotiate his safe release. If Jackalow is not returned to us in good health, everyone involved in his kidnapping will face the wrath of the Five Sons. This, I swear.
Okay, coming into the negotiation table pretty hot there, Pallegina. Pretty hot. Damn.
I see. We ourselves have been debating what to do with Giacomo for quite some time.
Giacomo stands near the back of the room, nervously assessing you. Though he appears unharmed, he flinches at every movement the pirates make. Tatzadel looks to the ceiling, apparently lost in thought. He sighs deeply and closes his eyes for an uncomfortably long time. At last, his head drops and he nods resolutely.
We are lost in the woods. You will guide us out by traveling the branching paths of Altleha.
That's an ixamiddle thing, isn't it? Philosopher. Squint and nod confidently.
A forest is defined by its boundaries. There are a finite number of ways through a forest, just as there are a finite number of ways this can end.
Okay, alright.
I know the ways out of the forest, but you will choose the paths to take.
Very well. The captain draws forth a small wax tablet and a plain metal stylus. He scratches a few words on the tablet and lightly poises the stylus over the surface before looking to you.
A woman is with a child, and she learns that if the child is born, it will suffer greatly and have a short life. If she ends the child's life before it truly begins, is this good or bad?
Okay, so I know the scenario, and I remember, because I remember the first time I played this, I answered everything like super like, oh yeah, I feel like this would be the right answer, right? From an ethical standpoint, I tried to answer correctly, or how my mind ethically thought would be correct. And what it ended up being was them saying, okay, great, we're gonna kill Giacomo then, because what he has been researching is the ability to detect godlike in the womb. Meaning that if you would give over that ability to people, it would end with many godlike never seeing the light of day. Right? So their concept is to kill Giacomo so that his research never comes to fruition, so that can never come to pass. So we have to keep that in mind, because, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess we have to keep it in mind because we're trying to complete Palagina's quest in a nice way, but we'll get there. Okay. If she ends the child's life before it truly begins, is this good or bad?
I think that it...
Palagina falters and goes quiet, then looks to you. I think it's more complicated than that. But I think he forces you, but thou must. I think it's more complicated than that.
It is. But I am the Pathmaster, and you are the Traveler. I decide what paths exist, and you decide what paths you take.
Okay. So if we say it's bad, right? If we say it's bad, then he goes, okay, it's bad. And that's a mark against Giacomo. Because it being bad is that you can identify the child as godlike, know that they're going to have a potentially short and horrible life, because a lot of godlike are treated horribly, and then, etc., etc. So, if we say it's bad, he's going to mark that against Giacomo, so I'm going to say it's good. His only response is to briskly make a small mark on his wax tablet.
You discover a powerful new technology, but you are afraid some people may misuse it for ill purposes. Would you destroy the technology, regulate access to it, or make it available to everyone equally?
Certainly it should not be destroyed. It would only be a matter of time before someone else made the same discovery.
So, destroying it equals, again, to killing Giacomo, right? I believe. Actually, no, I think it's the... Shit, this is such a complicated scenario. I think it should be regulated. It is my moral response, right? I think, But... Again, trying to do the Giacomo thing, I'm going to say make it available to everyone without restrictions. He nods and makes another small mark on the wax tablet.
An enemy of yours is being persecuted. The grounds of the persecution are, by measure of your own compass, unfair. Would you allow the persecution to continue, or would you intervene to stop it?
See, again, this is another, trick scenario, because they basically are saying, this is going to allow the persecution to continue. But I'm just going to say I would stop it. He looks down at the wax tablet and makes a third small mark.
You learn that someone who does great good for many people is unintentionally going to do great harm to many people. The harm may not be great, or it may be so great that it dwarfs the good they have done. You have an opportunity to prevent this by killing them. Do you do so?
I would not kill them.
Very well.
Makes a fourth mark on the tablet, then takes it in both hands, counting the tallies.
Your path has led to this conclusion. We will release Giacomo and his research.
What was the point of taking him to begin with?
Giacomo has discovered a method by which one may detect a godlike fetus in a mother's womb.
Tatzaddle's words hang in the air. The captain waits for Palagina's reaction. but she remains silent. She clenches her jaw and nods for Tatzadal to continue.
In the Deadfire Archipelago, parents consider a godlike child to be a blessing. From Berath and Helia to Andra and Galawain, all are beloved, save those of Scan.
Yep.
Appearing mutilated at birth, many godlike of Scan are killed with the tacit approval of the tribe. Those who aren't killed lead miserable lives.
That's awful.
I agree, as does my crew, which is why we decided to bring Giacomo here to decide what should be done about him, and his research.
I think this is a weird thing, because I don't think there are any, like, if you notice, I don't think there are any Skane godlikes, right? You can't make one. Because again, they are kind of like mutilated. So you get the moon ones, which are Andra. You get the fire ones, which are Magrun. You get the only bird one is Pelagina, and those are Hylias. You get the forest ones, I think, are Galawains, right? And then you get the death ones, which are Andras, or not Andras, are Beraths. But you can't make a Skane.
And after
I don't think
all
so,
this,
anyways.
You're going to let him go because of how the Watcher answered your stupid riddles?
Will you be quiet, Pelagina?
Yes.
Feel free to elaborate.
Our group was conflicted, so I posed to you a series of hypothetical questions, absent the specific context of our current problem. While you may have deduced some hint of the context during the questioning, it was a less biased method of reasoning than we were engaged in. After all, for us, this is a matter of life and death.
Say nothing.
Mestre Giacomo and his research are free to go. Now, if you will excuse us, we must prepare for our next voyage.
So I think Captain Tatzadal and his crew are super interesting. Like the brief conversation with Little Woody, the conversations with Captain Tatzadal himself, him being so open and willing to understand his own conflict of interest and allow someone else to put forth a concept or an idea. And there is nothing wrong. It could never work. Are you kidding me? It would work great because they'd never get in the way. You know? Like his horns go up, my horns go down. It would never get in the way. It'd be awesome. Pelagina looks to you and shrugs. I think they're a really cool crew. I would love to, like, you know, hear about the exploits of the Divine Barge. Said like a true horn downer. You goddamn right I did. Alright, as you wish. Farewell. Super super weird interaction, but
I honestly do
good.
not know what those pirates would have done to Giacomo if we hadn't arrived. And now we have saved not only the man, but his research as well. Agressima, Watcher.
Pelagina, is that you, my girl?
The old man's face widens into a broad smile as he holds out his arms and awkwardly gambols towards Pelagina. Pelagina kneels down at Giacomo's approach and places her head against his chest, her arms around his thin frame. She closes her eyes and smiles as he holds her. Hands on his hips, Seraphine grins.
I thought those pirates would have been the end of me.
Not if I could do something about it. I owe you too much to let something happen to you over some nonsense.
A shadow of concern falls over the old man's face. His forehead grows thick with worried wrinkles, and he gently pulls Pelagina to her feet.
My girl, what that satyr said is not nonsense. He had good reason to be afraid.
He looks to you for confirmation. There is a danger, yes. Animancers just need to be responsible.
Sadly, many are not. And as a group, we have no ability to monitor and reprimand those who act irresponsibly.
Yeah, that is a legitimate problem with science and technology and learning. Is sometimes you do stumble upon new things, and if the people who stumble upon those discoveries aren't careful, if the right people don't have control over the right things, it can end really badly. Absolutely can. We've seen that in time and again in historical context. We've seen both sides, right? We've seen the sides where people disseminate scientific research or discoveries freely, and it ends up being a great boon to society. Or we've seen scenarios where the opposite can have effect, or that things get manipulated and only parts of information get let out into the world, and that leads to catastrophe. It's a weird situation.
And you should not be expected to. Who would even be capable of doing such a thing?
No, Palagini, you're wrong. The people do need to be responsible for that. Animancers do need to be responsible for the work that they produce. Animancers should organize themselves to prevent their colleagues from getting out of hand.
How would that work? Would animancers submit to the authority of other animancers?
Absolutely. You create conclaves and actually have work be judged and weighed. It's not a perfect system, but it is a better system than just rampant. No.
Perhaps. Old age has a few benefits, my girl. One is a measure of respect from your younger colleagues. If we attempted to guide them with a gentle hand, perhaps.
Yep. I mean, that's how a lot of scientific research is done now. A very light hand from government, and then a lot of organizations monitoring shit. Gina considers both your words and Jacquelo's in turn. She nods her head and turns her attention away. You soon realize she is lost in thought. The moment passes quickly enough.
Well, it appears we are done here. We should see you back to Neketaka, Mestre Jocolo.
Before I go, I want you to have this, Aimoranet. An amulet of my own invention. It resonates with the godlike souls. Even severed, there is enough magic in your chime to activate its power.
He holds up a beautiful amulet on a slender chain. An oblong Audra stone gleams in its center. As he lowers it into Palagina's hand, he cups his other hand around hers and gently squeezes. You have gained an item, Heart Chime Amulet. Ah, right, I remember this. Oh, you can make a decaying one. Endings godlike. Yeah. Need to go back to the creation. So if you are not godlike, the Watcher can still wear this and get the Nimbus of Death effect. So a 5% chance to instantly destroy a kith or beast with less than 100 health on hit. We are, however, godlike. A moon godlike, so we would grant Lunar Heart, and Lunar Heart grants the wearer increased power level, +1 to all power levels at nighttime, which is pretty decent. Avian godlikes get +15 deflection against disengagement attacks, and 10% stride, which is kinda trash, truth be told. Very, very sad. This one is pretty good. We could give this to Kehu. You can heal off of water damage, basically. This one's pretty good. Basically a 5% damage decrease. And this is weird. I wonder why they did this. I wonder why the water one is more powerful than the fire one. I guess because the fire attacks tend to be stronger than the water attacks. So that's how they're balancing that. Interesting. You acquired this amulet from Jacquelot after his abduction by Captain Tetzadel of the Divine Barge. When worn, it produces a soft, harmonious song, almost like the toll of distant bells that quickly fades. Jacquelot presumably created the amulet in connection with his research into the nature of godlikes, but his ultimate purpose for the item is unknown. Sweet. Pallegina smiles and nods to him before letting him go. There's sadness in her eyes, but she regains her composure quickly.
I appreciate all you have done, both of you.
He smiles, nods, and shuffles off towards the docks. Dope. Alright. What is she currently wearing? She has Communal Carnage. Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't we just keep that? Yeah. Yeah, that amulet is not better. Definitely not. Okay. So we've done all the things here in Lifter's Refuge. Back to the Radiant Court, where we can do, several brutish thugs emerge from the nearby alleys. Let's fucking do it!
Odie boy! Says me? Yeah, we gonna fight, Odie. Let's fight, Odie. Let's fight, Odie.
Well, well, if it isn't Arca's new business partner, that's quite a lot of coin you two exchanged.
What's it to you?
Everyone knows Arca's aiming to come out of retirement and slice off a bigger part of Dunwich for himself. Maybe he even wants to steal a seat on the council. We can't be letting someone of your reputation back him, now can we?
Aemond the Fox.
Think I'll send him your head, as a reminder to stick to selling grog and flea-infested beds.
Who the fuck are you, Aemond? Yeah, they made a huge mistake. They fucked up. Who the fuck are you, Aemond? I'm not even sure I need to give a shit about this. Let's just let everything happen and we'll figure out. Oof, this guy's almost already dead. Oh yeah, this is gonna take like 0 response from me. He's dead, that's who he is. Fuck yeah. Let me...
Just like that.
That whole group just exploded.
Still got it.
Oh my god. Pallegina fucking slaps now. Actually. She just crit the top. She crit Dunnage Thug for 20 piercing plus 2 fire. Knockdown for 31 piercing, 4 fire. Oh my god. 30 piercing, 3 fire. Jeez. Slapped.
Let's go.
You fucked up, Aemond. Ooh, Boots of Stone. Ooh, Boots of Stone. Alright, Dexterity Boots are nice. We got Stride Resolve. We got Bounding Leap. I don't really care about Bounding Leap. What am I using? Stride, resolve. Resolve is tank. Care about leap. Put those on her. Resistance to might afflictions? These are amazing boots. Kidding me? I already have resistance to might afflictions, though. Right? Oh, I have resistance to intellect afflictions. Oh yeah, we'll take that. Give me them boots, Pallegina, those are mine. Have these fucking boots. Get out of here. Get out of here. Lesser lay on hands. For accuracy. Maker's Own. What am I using? Athletics, second wind. Incoming weapon damage is reduced. +2 constitution is pretty good. I think maybe we put this on Pallegina. +1 might. Have her just slap. Maybe give him Oritia. Any of these are good. Some of them are very good. Okay. Cool. Done and done. How are we doing on Modeware? We're getting there. Also, can we talk about... I'm legitimately disappointed. Can we talk about the severe lack of unique spears? I want to fucking... Or actually, you know what? Not even just unique spears. Just spears generally. It's like they're the rarest weapon in the fucking game or something. Like, it's insane. It's killing me. Making me sad. Real sad. Real sad. Need to hold on to this.
Not a bad bit of tackle,
You were
Cap.
saying? Just
Alright.
say the word.
Swank. Done and done. Okay, continuing on to Radiant Court. Wonder what the fuck was up with that. We did a nice thing. We fucking paid for someone's debt, and then someone's like, "Oh, you backing Hawker's play?" No. Calm down.
Got nerves twisting in me belly like cold water eels.
Thought I saw Harker in the audience. Gave me a real fright, it did.
All right, here we go.
Thanks muchly for bringing Taerna back to us. Her storm and weather spells will really strike an atmosphere for the play. And now that we've got a real big brute for Aethys, we can put on a proper play. Stick around for the performance. I think you'll be plenty pleased.
She spreads her hands as if to take a bow, but instead she snaps her fingers together and the stage darkens behind her, signaling the start of the show. Yeah, let's do it! To watch a play!
Ladies and gentle pirates, and rapscallions too, you are in for the truest of mental treats. Without further ado, I present the Green Menace. Let us begin with our valiant new blood crews. The Lusty Rudder and Fortune's Folly. Two ships adrift at sea for weeks and weeks on a venture most daring. In search of the Uncharted Islands.
Uncharted Islands. I like how the... Fucking
Months at sea with no treasure to show for it. You sure these
Hilarious.
uncharted islands exist, Captain? We ain't seen land for days.
Were they easy to find, they'd be called the Chartered Islands, wouldn't they? If you're thinking to mutiny.
Land ho! Land ho! Got a lumpy-looking island coming on the horizon.
That's no island. That be the Green Menace. We're doomed for sure.
Oh my god.
Souls and gold and glory, you will give these to me. For I am a god among gods, and a true menace upon the seas. Souls and gold and glory. Blame the Dawn Stars, for they have summoned me.
No!
And now...
No, don't do that.
I
Don't do that. I know how media works. People are gonna think that's actually true.
It will. Oh, Andra, take me now.
Oh shit! Pyrotechnics! Nice!
And that's the story of how Aethys sank a fleet of our best tars. Like the floating hangman, you see the Green Menace coming, you sail the other way. Thank you. Donations and gratuity are greatly appreciated.
That was like a 5-minute play. y'all.
Do you think? They gods damned loved us thanks to you.
Nice. Good job. And that would actually be an amazing headpiece. I would wear that. I would totally wear that. 1,500 copper. Nice.
Speak freely. Can do.
If it's a drink you're wanting, I got enough grog stock to drown a shark. Food's another story. What are you having? I'll pour you.
Your orders?
Desirol.
Welcome your return.
Desirol gives you a warm smile. She dances a coin across her knuckles, mirth a bright glint in her eyes. I killed Torkar.
I'd say it's a shame to have lost such a brilliant mind, but Torkar didn't give you any choice.
5,000 copper.
That's one down. Just 3 left to go. If you're still game.
Abso-fucking-lutely. Though her smile is sunny, it doesn't quite match the look in her eyes. Sounds like you got a grudge. Didn't we already do that?
It's nothing personal.
Aha. As she speaks, Desirol removes a small swollenette from her pocket and polishes the surface with a coin with the corner of a shirt. Her features soften like she's visiting an old memory. Then she stuffs the coin back in her pocket with a barely audible sigh. What's bothering you?
There's no need to make my concerns your own, my friend. It's family business, that's all. But I suppose you have a right to know.
She pauses and slips the swollenette from her pocket again. It gleams golden in the low light.
My idiot kid sister was on the firebrand, seduced to a dishonest life by the promise of adventure. When the pirate hunters killed the crew and sank the ship, they also killed my sister. But those irredeemable lowlifes I sent you after got away without a scrape. I want them to pay. I don't much care how, so long as they take that turn on the wheel.
Awesome. I feel you.
Just say the
Fuck
word.
those assholes. Alright, sweet. Done and done. So we've done basically everything in Dunnage except go to the Balefire Beacon, which is where we must meet with fuck his face. What's his face? Douche Canoe. Doobity doo. Ferrante. That guy. So let's head there and do the thing. Ooh, they're in my house. I was like, I'm a little chilly, but... Ahaha! Two-Eyed Pim.
Much ado to you, Casita.
The captain flourishes a sweeping bow. When he bends forward, a golden swollenette slips from his collar to dangle at the end of its chain. He tucks it away as he straightens, but not before you notice the etching on its front. It marks him as the third chair on the Consuelo Mescasitas.
A word of advice. Guard your back in dunnage. You have not yet carved a name for yourself or your crew. Yet you choose to swim in a sea of sharks. Should one take a bite, the Consuelo will not intervene. Elsewise, how might I be of assistance?
Ooh. Tell me about the Consuelo Mescasitas.
Yes, our council of captains.
He tips his head towards the semicircle of elaborately ornate chairs aligned on the other side of the room.
There are 7 seats on the Consuelo, each occupied by a high-ranking captain within the Principe. Seat holders convene to vote on a variety of issues concerning the Principe's well-being. To claim a seat, a captain must have substantial backing and sufficient power, both politically and physically. Ferrante, the last Marcheso, holds the highest ranking seat because the most ships in our entire fleet have pledged loyalty to his flag. As you can guess, the Sea Wolf, Aldis, commands the second most numerous fleet of ships. As such, she is the second chair, and I am the third.
He rolls his head on his neck as if to work out a stiff muscle.
Perhaps you would like to attend the proceedings when the Consuelo next convenes. You have my ear, Casita. Of what do you wish to discuss today?
Why do you speak like a Valian? The captain arches a dark brow.
I met Ferrante decades ago. Many years I sailed as his first mate before building my own humble fleet.
With an affected shrug, he sweeps a hand to indicate the room.
When in the Principe, do as the Valians do. Unless, of course, you have no care for tradition or the continued sustainability of our way of life, like some filthy new blood.
Oh, so Two-Eyed Pim is staunchly in the traditional side of things. Gotcha. Is there someone or some place I should avoid while in dunnage?
You may have noticed a divide between old blood and the new, by which I mean those who descended from or otherwise hold old Valia in grand esteem, and the varied and often uncouth recruits we have since brought into the fold. I assure you, the latter was supremely by necessity, though perhaps I'm ill-equipped to throw stones. As a casita of some repute, you will be most welcome in the king's coffin. But you should watch yourself throughout the radiant court.
Farewell. I don't want to hit the swollenette thing yet. The 4th seat thing yet. Alright, leveling up to Kehu. We're good there. I think probably tough is the route to go. Oh, no, practiced healer. Absolutely where we want to go. Easy grab. This level 16 for, yeah, this is level 16 for KJ. Holy shit. Holy shit, we got power level 6. Oh, damn. Man, we can't get any of the power level 8 stuff. That's so sad. So sad. We could do, this is a faux AoE, right? This is actually something that I've been thinking about, like, with a lot of the fights that we've gotten into, I've seen me get to the point to where we're just, like, surrounded by enemies, and I imagine 7 Knights will do a lot of damage. That being said, spell resistance would be pretty good. Improved criticals, not gonna matter. Yeah. So we've got to take something. And I don't really know that we care about most of the things that we have. I feel like maybe 7 Knights. is the route we go. I would love Eldnaries. Eldnaries is cool. Very cool. Jumps 12 times. You can just have it through fucking enemies. It's very good, but we can't go that route, so. But we can get Her Tears Fell Like Rain eventually, which makes the burst of AoE do more, which is kind of cool. So I feel like we could just get more passives. But this is kind of like a fun thing to do, I guess. I don't know that it matters at this point. Health would probably just be the go-to option. Health or spell resistance, I think. I'm gonna grab 7 Knights though. Oh, I want something to play around with. We're never gonna get a fair amount for Virtuous Triumph because we're not gonna get enough kills. So this is again basically spell resistance or health. I think probably 32 HP versus 10% spell resistance. We are getting into the end game. We're going to be dealing with a lot more spells here in the near future. Spell resistance would probably be pretty good. I just wish it was. I wish this was higher, right? I feel like spell resistance for such a late game pick is kind of weak. I wish it was 20% or even 15%. I feel like 10% just isn't good enough. We'll take it. Okay. Okay, what else are we doing? I don't fucking know. Flail, sure, whatever. Okay, cool.
You were saying?
Sneak over here and see what's going on.
What have we here?
Who is this lady? Funny. I always feel like it's such a ripoff when I find a secret and it's just some money. No, it feels lame. Okay, so I'm actually really interested in who all the seats are. Captain Mayor Treviso. Mad Morena is on the council. Okay. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Mad Morena is. Oh wow, they've actually got it all like neatly set out, huh? So Aldis. Again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this has been with, yeah. Interesting. So Aldis, Benwith, and Morena are, you know, the new blood. Ferrante. We know Ferrante and Pym are old guard. I wonder about Chiara and Treviso. Interesting.
Speak freely.
Okay, let's talk to Ferrante.
Ah, Watcher. Good, you have arrived.
Chin jutting upward, he grants you a winsome smile. His left cheek dimples as the smile spreads to show teeth.
Ahoy there yourself, Captain. What do I be but a pretty bit of man-meat to dangle from a wrist? As easily forgotten as set aside.
Arms akimbo and head askance, Seraphim smirks.
I know that dimple. Had you in my sights once, but you bent down to lace your boot.
With a sigh, Seraphin rolls his large eyes.
It's the ones who get away that hurt the most.
Maya glances away and sighs.
A coincidence, surely.
Expression tight, he eyes the rifle strapped to her back. Ferrante rubs his thumb over his golden swollenette, violent thoughts gliding over his face like dark clouds. Then he smiles, but it's a vicious expression more than a pleasant one.
A little seabird informs me that you have dealt with our mutual problem, the scoundrel Benoit.
His eyes glint as a fierce grin cuts across his face, and his lone dimple deepens.
Gelarde, for this you have my grandest commendation.
You'd have been right amused, you would. Few sights as fine as that hard blowing 3-sheeter getting what's long been due him.
Hands on his hips, Seraphin juts his chest forward, blue fur expanding like a bird's plumage.
You are lacking in so many ways, my former ship hunter, but no one can say you are not entertaining. I myself would have enjoyed watching you put the scoundrel in his place.
He had it coming.
That he did. Indeed.
Ferrante strokes his fingers down the line of his jaw, eyes downcast in thought. I'm not saying for you, I'm saying for me. He came at me first.
And as promised, I have prepared for you a fine prize.
The sweep of his arm, he offers you a magnificent cloak. A cloak of protection. Great.
However, there is another matter of which we must now speak. I must confess to you a bit of a problem has arisen. One which speaks to your expertise with the supernatural. We've sighted the floating hangman that haunts the Deadfire.
I've read accounts of an undead ship that flies a Darkosi flag, yes.
It would seem I have undervalued you, Watcher.
His dark eyes glint with interest.
I will not mince words, as you undoubtedly know what we are up against. This galleon, what likely remains of the Von Ferrus, is a frightful legend.
Iron Strength. The Grand Valian galleon that Darkosi paladin Lucia Riven used to flee the burning palace when charged to protect the royal family's sword.
We have been losing ships at sea, Amico, and not to those Valera ship-hunting bastards. I believe the floating hangman may be our culprit.
So I've been growing out my fingernails. Just been basically trying to not bite them, because I've always had a bad habit of biting my fingernails. And so, in trying to break that habit, my fingernails are growing, and I'm trying to be, good about hygiene and everything like that. They're a pain in the ass to fucking clean. I realize now why I just bite the shit out of them all the time, because if I just don't have fingernails, then I don't have to clean them all the goddamn time. It's kind of fucking annoying, truth be told. I asked Casey about it because I was like, maybe the ladies have, been dealing with this for a while, and maybe they have some secret tactics. And she's just like, yeah, no, it's shit, it's trash, it's a pain in the ass. Also, yet another reason to paint our fingers, because if we paint our fingers, you can't see that they're dirty underneath, And I was like, oh shit. The secret's out. Fuck.
Fortune favors us, as I have procured a survivor from such a recent sinking. You will consider what she has to say.
Head craning abruptly to the side, he barks a loud order.
Come forth, Selenia. Quickly now, or I will run rivers of your lethargic blood.
At that last, he smiles. Sun-blistered and raw-boned, the pirate regards you both with discerning glare. She tongues a chapped bottom lip, but keeps quiet.
Well, spit it out, Selenia, and try not to embarrass me before our guest.
Of course, Captain. It might have pretty hard near the end, but I spit the tale as best as I can.
The pirate touches a spot at the base of her skull and winces. She glances off to the side, eyes black and full of hurt. Ferrante sighs and rubs tiredly between his brows. See, this is part of the problem that I have with Ferrante's and Pym's, like, high-minded, oh, we are the old Valian guard, and we speak and affect with a certain style, and that sets us above everyone else. You treat the new bloods like shit. You don't teach them your ways. You don't bring them into the fold. You set yourself apart. What do you expect? When he looks at this pirate, Selenia, right? And he looks at her like she's trash, that's horseshit, because she came into the Principe. You should have taught her, to be what you wanted her to be. Fuck you.
Go on, gent. I'm ready as I'm like to get me.
With a shiver, the pirate turns her black button eyes to you. I'll try not to press you to remember more than we absolutely need.
You aren't quite what I expected, Watcher. You're...
She wets her lips.
kinder than most.
Selenia pointedly avoids Ferrante's gaze, a grimy hand scrubbing at her mouth.
Saw my old crew slaughtered me, my best mates, and even a few I hated. They weren't but blood and meat in the end. It branded the back of my eyes that moment. High seas, nothing but blue all around. Then, mist so thick you could taste it. Ships sailed from within. Out of nowhere was a hunt, not for loot, but for bodies. The ship, it looked...
She gropes at her hip, but there's nothing there. Fingers fumbling at air, she bares her teeth.
Rotted. The crew, they were all undead. Couldn't stop them from boarding. Couldn't kill them. Couldn't even fight them in the end.
Tell me about them, the undead.
They were dreadful. Some were clothed, like maybe they'd only recently died. Others weren't more than moving bones. One was different. Her presence was overwhelming. Heavy. Flames burned in the place of her eyes. The crew shambled hard to do her bidding, even the ones who seemed hardly aware. Figured she was the captain, me.
She shrugs, gaze going far away.
There is a flag the floating hangman flies. A flag that once heralded the Fonferus of Old Valia. It belonged to a Darkutsi paladin of some legend, one Lucia Rivan. But Selenia's knowledge is limited in this regard. Let us instead ask her of a subject she may know.
How were you taken by surprise on the open sea?
Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always. No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us. Was some magic foul. Just sudden like, the winds died, the waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the Spectre ship.
She glides her hand in the air.
Skimmed right out. It was too late. We couldn't outsail it.
When did this happen? She ruffles a hand through her short hair, scowls.
Deny me. Drifted for days, maybe longer. Kept winking in and out after I ran out of drink.
One of mine found her no more than a week ago. Malnourished, dehydrated. The poor girl was scarcely able to speak.
Well, I'm more than able to gabble now, aren't I? Could sail, too. No, you got no reason to keep me.
Splits her hands over the softness of his shirt. Again, her fingers hesitate close to her hip, the fabric crinkled there where a pistol might normally be strapped. A muscle ticks in Ferrante's jaw, but he otherwise ignores her.
Perhaps there is something else you wish to ask of our guest before she departs from us.
How'd you survive the attack?
Calling me Craven? Huh, sure, I am.
I wasn't. She snorts. She rubs the back of her head, rough like she needs it to hurt.
Took a knock-in and I was out for a while. When I came to, they were eating Ganasco, our steward. I dropped a dinghy and rode for it. Don't know why they didn't give chase. Don't much care me.
That'll be all. Selenia cuts a glance to Ferrante for confirmation. When he dismissively waves her away, her black eyes narrow and she raises her chin, defiant. But then he turns his full gaze to her, suddenly seething, and she shrinks in on herself. Fist shaking at her side, she reluctantly retreats. So she's absolutely new blood.
She belongs to Aldis.
Yeah, there you
who
go.
Undoubtedly will come to claim her soon. But that is a problem for another time.
Ferrante sighs.
One moment, Watcher.
The captain scowls at Selenia's retreating back, and dark anger forming his cheeks. Dare and be damned, Captain, as I believe you told Selenia. Spit it out already. He grins, wild and roguish. Nice.
Looks like we'll be making a salty grog-sucking cur of this one yet.
Nice.
Mind the manner in which you address me, ship hunter.
Oh, I get to do it, but he doesn't. The mirth evaporates from his face. Nice.
Allow me to cut to the heart of it. Lucia Rivan, whose flag flies atop our spectral ship, was a Darkotsi paladin who died more than 200 years ago.
Yep.
It is my hope that uncovering the details regarding dear Rivan's fate in life may illuminate the nature of her undeath and how to defeat her galleon. Unfortunately, the only soul who could possibly shine more light on our situation lies buried deep within Neketaka. One Iser the Berethian, now well rotted, I presume.
Aha. Who is this Isir the Berathian?
Regrettably, I know little but this. He was an Ediran warrior priest of Berath, and a significantly fervent one, if tales are to be believed. He chased our Dakotsi to the Deadfire, hunting her to, well, to her death. Shortly after slaughtering our brave paladin, the priest died, possibly of sickness, or perhaps from a festering battle wound. He was entombed in honor of his service to Berath.
That comes full circle.
Sacred stair.
Do we know any more about Lucia Rivan?
By all accounts, our Rivan was a Darkotsi paladin who sailed to the Deadfire in order to safeguard a royal weapon of Old Valia.
The paladins of the Darkotsi were legendary in their time.
A whisper of a smirk flits across her face with the last phrase, though Ferrante either doesn't notice it or pays no attention.
Indeed.
He sucks in a deep breath, chest rising pridefully.
She is the epitome of Grand Valia, of magnificence, honor, and duty. Living or undead, she strives still to serve her charge. And yet, we know not why, but a Berathian priest called Isir opposed our Rivan, and fiercely. They fought to the death. Rivan's, to be precise, in this very archipelago. Along with her life, Rivan lost the sword she had sworn to protect.
He traces a dreary line down his jaw.
It has, lamentably, remained unfindable since. I believe it may be why she searches the seas yet.
Take it you have a plan?
Indeed, I do.
He flashes you a devious grin.
Though I and mine cannot so openly venture into the depths of Neketaka, nor can we commune with the dead, you, Watcher, are adept in both of these areas, correct?
That is correct.
You must search the Temple of Berath on Neketaka's sacred stair. Isir's tomb within it should contain a chronicle for how and where he slayed our paladin, Rivan.
Cool, cool. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Gelarde, do return when you've any lead that may navigate us to where the floating hangman anchors. I will be waiting.
He nods cordially in dismissal. Sweet, let's talk to him again real quick.
Gelarde, such a solace it is to see you again.
I have questions regarding the Principe.
Who better to ask than the first chair and highest rank on the Consuelo, Mescasitas? Ak, what is it you wish to know?
Who are the Principe?
We are a magnificent but largely landless people, so we have come to own the sea. To survive, we must seize prosperity where we can. Hence, we're oft labeled as pirates, smugglers, merchants of illicit trade, or mercenaries.
You're not labeled as those things, you are those things.
It will not always be so, but it is for now.
Ferrante envisions, like, recreating the grandeur of Old Valia, conquering territory and land, and becoming a king.
Ak, what is it you wish to know?
The Principe's heritage is Old Valian?
Indeed, Aimiko. You are correct in this assessment. We are descended from refugees who fled during Old Valia's decline. They sailed the eastern reach to the Deadfire. But they did not settle the islands. Today, even, our shipboard life continues. Ak, what is it you wish to know?
Dunnage is rather interesting. Who first cobbled it together?
What matters is not who they were, Casita. Only that we took it from them.
Wow, that's fucked up. His grin is shark-like, all teeth and violence.
But, as you are curious, I will tell you this. The architecture of Balefire Beacon suggests dwarven craftsmanship.
Interesting.
My own research into the island upon which I established Dunwich paints these ruins in a picture of blood and agony. Whatever dwarves sought to make their refuge here were exterminated by a crush of Naga tidal waves and great sea monsters all at once. Fortuitously for us, Ondra shelters her loyal sailors more than wayward mountain dwarves. Ak, what is it you wish to know?
Good to know.
Come, let us share a fine conversation.
Curious to know you better. You tapping boy.
Do you know how I have lived so long in this life of piracy?
No, but I bet you're going. I do not. He nods. Conspiratorially, he leans close.
You may already be aware, but I am a Dokotsi paladin, the first chair on the Consuelo, and my crews have been known to call me the last Marcheso. Contrary to popular belief, I do not overly favor speaking of myself.
Nice. And I don't remember being told that he was a Darkotsi paladin. That's really cool to know. Okay,
Fortune
we're done.
with you and yours.
Sweet, baby Jesus. All right, this boy is tapping me. I gotta pee. That's the end of this video. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're gonna keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.